Hi there folks, Joel Self, Outdoor Instructor here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel today. I hope you're all staying well. Today's video is going to answer a really commonly asked question. What's the difference between active and passive protection? This has actually got a really simple answer. Active protection has got moving parts, passive protection doesn't, it's all static. So I thought I'd bring along some examples that we can categorise together. A great place to start in terms of passive protection is talking about our climbing nuts. These are also called stoppers and wedges in different places around the country. It's a wedge of metal on the end of a wire or bit of cord. We pull that into a constriction in a crack and it sits there quite happily with a quick draw on it, ready for us to fall off. Hopefully we never do, but if we did, this will just pull further into that constriction within the crack. So these are passive protection, no moving parts. A great example of active protection that we're probably all familiar with are our climbing cams. These have got a trigger system which constricts the lobes at the top of the cam, meaning we can pop it into the crack, release the trigger, and the lobes will expand to fit within the crack. This isn't a video about how to place these bits of gear. However, there is a nice margin for error in cams which can be a benefit to our active protection. It means that if I grab the wrong size off of my harness, in this case a size 3 cam, there'll be an overlap to the smaller cam at 2.5 and the larger cam of 3.5. This cam may not sit in its ideal positioning, but if I have it slightly more tipped out or slightly more constricted, then I may be able to get a placement through this bit of gear that really I should have done with another piece. Whereas with our nuts, they are one size. If the crack's not that size, they don't fit. I'll have to go back to my harness, find another one. So that's the bit of advantage between the two. Okay, a slightly unusual example of passive protection now, a sky hook. These are not particularly common. Many people don't use them. Many people probably don't know what they are. This is a hook that we pop on little edges when we're not following crack systems. So all of the other bits of gear we're going to talk about today, if you haven't got a crack there, you're not placing any gear. Whereas this we can place on those little grooves and edges on a face as we make our ascent of our really scary route. But no moving parts, so it is passive protection. A good example, again an uncommon one, of active protection would be our big bros. These are made by Trango and they're not very common here in the UK. But they're brilliant for off-width climbing. So as you're getting elbows involved in stacking hands and getting arm bars and all the rest of it, these start to come into play. They're bigger than our hexes, which we're going to talk about in a moment, and they are active, so they've got moving parts, and we can even extend them. This is the Big Bro 2. However, I believe there are 4 sizes. I've only got 3 of the 4. I don't have the biggest one, which is a blue one. These are really, really nice bits of kit. I really rate these. You don't get the opportunity to place them that often here in the UK because we don't have those really big off-width climbs that I think of when I think about splitter cracks out in the US. But these nonetheless are a cool bit of kit. But they've got moving parts, so they are active. And just like the cam, there's that margin for error in how much we open them up. So we can overlap the sizes between this and the next size down, the next size up. Last bit of kit that we've got today is a hex. Now these are called torque nuts by DMM, but they go by various different names. Seagull basher if you're a sea cliff climber, cowbell if you're used to being in the hills. These are a nice bit of kit, really, really popular with beginner climbers, and they've got a great place on easy trad routes because they're nice and big, which means when we're following that easy, more broken terrain where we've got big holes and big crack systems, we can pop these in and they sit there in the constrictions, very much like the nuts do. That means because they've got no moving parts, they also are passive protection. So those are a couple of our different options in terms of those 2 categories. There are definitely other bits of gear out there. I'm not going to go through them all because there are more options than I can think of to explain in this video. But these were just some I had to hand and I thought you'd be interested to see. Active has moving parts, passive, no moving parts. That's the answer to that question. I hope this was a helpful video for you. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Joel Self, Outdoor Instructor. Goodbye.